Hello and welcome back to my studio. This is Jim and I'm happy to share another drawing with you. From the encouraging response I've had, it's made me want to draw more and share more as well. For this drawing, I wanted to go back to Algonquin Park and a photograph I took at the Immeuble de Fond Rapids in the northern part of Algonquin Park. This brings back good memories for me and kind of gets me back in the mood of spring and summertime and fall after the winter. But in saying that, I got up this morning and there was snow all over the ground again. It was a minor setback in my mind for a moment, and but just a minor setback. I went outside and put some more wood on the fire that is boiling the maple syrup sap right now, because we make a small amount just for ourselves and family, and that kind of brought back the feeling of springtime is here. I'm using the fountain pen right away, and a lot of people have a little harder time going straight in with ink, but in this case, because it's a natural scene, rocks, logs, river, as long as you get the basic shapes right, there is no right or wrong way to do this. So if you put a branch where a branch is not supposed to be, or you have a little bump on a rock that is not quite there in real life, it doesn't really matter, as long as you get the overall feeling and of the scene. I'm keeping this in real time also. I thought it would be nice for a change rather than speeding it up, and seeing it's a smaller drawing, it didn't add too much time to the video. So I hope you all still enjoy that. Plus you could always speed it up if you really wanted to. This is one subject that when I'm out in the field on site, I'd really want to draw. A rushing river with all the movement and everything is a little harder for me anyway to draw when you're out, but a little bit of practice like this in the studio, and I'll give it a try this spring and summer and see what happens. Basically what I'm doing is trying to see where the lights and darks are and the shapes. That shape I just drew there with the light water foaming up and splashing up, I just saw it as a line following the contours, and then hoping that when it all comes together it will look like a river, will look like water splashing down. I guess the idea of sketching is to simplify, but still keep the essence of the subject, so that you can look at it after and your mind can fill in the blanks and the spaces, and it will become, in your mind anyway, a river scene. And you can see I'm not worrying too much about what leaves are where exactly. I'm just trying to kind of doing squiggles and in the general area. the rocks, though, I wanted to make sure they were standing out, so I gave them nice dark edges. And if something recedes into the background, then maybe a little lighter touch with the pen, or more spaces in between the lines. Although these videos aren't tutorials, and I'm not saying how to draw, far from it. I believe everybody's drawing is individual, and there's so many styles, like I've said before. So this is not a tutorial by any means, but certainly if you have questions, or if there's a certain part of it that you'd like me to explain, or why I'm doing a certain way, or how. A lot of times, and maybe other sketchers will agree with me, or artists, it's hard to explain how you're doing something. A lot of it is instinct, and just feel. Sure, there are a lot of basic techniques: shading, shadows, and once you've developed your own way of seeing that, interpreting that into a drawing or a painting, then that's what makes your style, their individual style. Even though a lot of art looks the same, basically, overall, there's always little bits here and there that are individual to the artist, whoever's doing it. When I say artist, I don't mean to designate any particular kind of artist, like professional or whatever. I believe anybody that draws is an artist. They're making art. So I'm using that technique again of filling in the distant, dense forest, shadowy areas with hatching, and I find that really works well for me. Even in a scene like this, you'd think a whole bunch of straight lines in the background would be kind of monotonous and not look right, but for me anyway, I think it kind of adds something. Also gives a little contrast to the foreground and the trunks of the trees and the leaves. So it gives them something to work against. I'm shading and everything as I go along, rather than just doing the outlines and then shading all after. But I find this method is pretty good. It works in a number of different ways for me. It shows how the drawing is coming along. It develops as it goes, rather than waiting until a different stage of the drawing and then seeing it come to life. But I find this way kind of brings the individual bits to life as you're doing them. So it gives you kind of an idea of how the drawing is going. And then if you see certain areas need a bit of darkening up or more shadow, then you can do that after. And hopefully get the balance of light and dark and shadow good enough to make the scene pleasing to the eye. One good thing about drawing natural things, rocks, trees, water, you don't have to be exact in the shapes, in the proportions. Whereas if you're drawing people, say, you can fudge it a little bit, but if the certain proportions are off, it's very noticeable. And I'm not talking about doing a portrait trying to make it look like exactly like somebody. That's a whole different detailed thing. I'm just talking about doing the human form. On the day that I did this, I also did another drawing and filmed it in my in a newer, larger 8x8 multimedia pad. And the surface of the paper isn't as smooth as this. This is very smooth, almost like a copy paper, but heavier. So the ink runs really nice on it, and the paint actually doesn't do too bad on it either, without too much buckling. But anyway, my new pad has kind of a rough surface. The pen doesn't feel as smooth and comfortable on it, and the paint took, but it was in a different way. And maybe it was my mood, or just the fact of using a new pad for the first time was a little intimidating, perhaps. You know, that first page in a brand new book, you're kind of, well, at least I am, a little nervous about what's going to happen. Is it going to go well? You're going to mess up the first page. Well, I didn't mess it up, but I wasn't totally happy with it. I actually used pencil to start with, to get the general proportions and shape, or placement, I guess. But even that didn't help me, because I ended up with it was a picture of me, actually. I guess I should say that. A picture of me at a campsite next to my fire, with my tent and my canoe and everything. It was quite a nice, picture in the scene. But I ended up with the head on my body a bit too big. And even after doing it in pencil, I really, I didn't even have that in my mind to watch out for proportions. I was just doing placement. So I guess maybe from the start that drawing was doomed. It's not that it wrecked my book. I mean, it's all right, but I didn't find it. I didn't feel it good enough to post after. Anyway, you see how I outline the rocks and the foreground subjects a little bit more with the heavier ink before the application of paint. It just brings them a little bit more to the foreground, makes them more of a center of interest, I think. Now, painting the water. It's always tricky. You've got to leave enough white, but you've got to leave enough of the watercolor too, just to make it a believable river. But I'm glad I took my time before with the ink, doing the movement of the water and the flowing bits where it was tumbling down. So painting, even though it's important, it kind of brightens the drawing up, makes it a painting, gives it some life, like some color. The ink drawing is what really makes the shapes. Painting is kind of icing on the cake, so to speak. My wife made some really nice muffins the other day when the kids were down, the grandkids, talking about icing on cakes, and it was really good. It's kind of like the idea of painting. When everything goes well and it looks good after, it's a very pleasing feeling to me. Kind of like a cupcake with icing. So here I'm just continuing to add shadow and color to the rocks. A little bit more stronger shadows, just to give shape to those rocks in the foreground. It's always tricky to know how much to do, to paint. Many times I've gone a little bit too far, putting a little too much of a dark color or wrong color. But it's a combination of luck and control. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you again in my studio. Take care.